going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Brock Talk. Almost said wisdom in the weight room.
Hey,
we should get that.
What is that?
We might have to get that rolling again.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, we are sitting here with one of my good friends, Miguel Secor, a father, a businessman, he's a strength coach. Strength coach.
Personal trainer.
I was about to call you a power lifter, but I don't know what you're like. What you would consider yourself in that regards.
I'd say I'm not, but I'm recreational. I don't know. I do the power
strength
lifts.
enthusiast.
Yeah.
Is that a good
I like
way
to
to put
move
it?
Heavyweight.
Yeah. Yeah. Guest one on the Brock Talk. This is pretty awesome. Miguel, how's it going?
Good, man.
I have some obviously questions to ask. Caught up, maybe since there's some new listeners to me and you, but maybe some people coming in from Wizard of the Weight Room. Let's get the guys and fellas and ladies up to date. What's the life of Miguel Secor been like as of late?
It's busy, man.
Yeah.
I actually sat down this fall, and made a calendar made a calendar, and then I have every day I have something, on my calendar, which I've never done. And the only reason why I did that this year is because it's so packed. Every single day I have something or somebody I'm training. So that's been new, but it's been kind of nice to be able to sit down every day in my office and look at it and be like, okay, I got this person from 5:45 to 6:45, and then from 7 to 8, I got, so that helps me a lot.
Is that schedule? So you have Iowa Central,
the
stuff there. So that stuff's on the
the schedule,
including then your own gym.
My own gym, which is a bajillion different things on the schedule there.
But is your schedule work related, or is this like the whole gambit of
this
of your
is
life?
all work related?
All work related. Okay.
So yeah,
I didn't know if you were like, all right, gotta take C money to soccer practice or anything like that. There.
No, I mean, like, that's not on it. Just because during the week I don't really have time to do much. Allie takes, if it comes to the family, she's doing all the running around and whatnot. So it's just work.
A business schedule. Work schedule.
Keeps me on track.
Yeah.
I always have to look back at it when I'm being asked what I'm doing.
Yeah.
At certain times.
So you just didn't really schedule in the past?
I didn't need to.
You just had like a mental one?
Yeah.
I got you.
But this is the first time that I'm like, you know what? I don't think I can keep it all together.
Yeah.
There's way too many things to it now.
Juggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got you.
So I did that, I want to say last week, and that's been good. It was weird because rugby had Hell Week 2 weeks ago, which you were part of. Maybe we could talk about that for a minute. But so the whole week was different with my schedule. So I had one schedule for that week, and then the next week, this past week, it all changed because school started for the elementary kids, middle school, high school, and college kids. So then my schedule all changed. But now I'm on a consistent schedule, so it should be like this the rest of the fall, which will be nice.
So you have like a seasonal schedule?
Yeah.
Before we get any further, I just kind of want to get your track record out there. So you are a strength and conditioning coach. You work at a college. Mm-hmm. You train athletes there, teams.
Yep.
So that's kind of one side of your
my job.
career
Yep.
job.
Yeah.
Now you also, as of recent year or so, has it been a year?
Year. August.
Yep.
Second week in August.
So then you have your own gym.
Yeah.
Would you call it a public gym, private gym?
That's a tough one. It's
kinda
more
like
of it's not
middle,
really
right?
public.
Yeah.
I call it like a private gym, more of a performance gym for athletes, but I also have members that come in and train.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's somewhat public, but it's all by...
It's like
it's a private select...
hybrid.
Yes. Where...
Yeah. So you're not like...
I'm not like our...
You're not marketing for like members.
Not really.
But it's kind of like someone can say, hey, I want to come train. I want a gym.
And I decide if it's a good fit for them.
Yeah.
And if they want to be there, then...
Yeah, so you basically have a set of like values and core principles and just like a philosophy that the gym embodies. Mm-hmm. So maybe someone comes in, or maybe you might even see someone outside of it and say, hey, you might fit in
benefit
here.
from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll recruit people.
And your career of strength conditioning, right, for people who maybe not know, went to college for it, among other things, but that's what you have a degree in for.
Yep.
What is your timeline? How long have you been doing strength and conditioning since I'd say
since
graduated and whatever.
Yeah, so since grad school. I mean, I don't know if you count grad school as time in, but that was 2000.
I'd say that's probably your starting point, though, right? Like,
yeah, I was in undergrad 2008 to 2012. Went to grad school 2012 to 2014, and then I came home and I kind of took a year off, and then I got right back into it.
Yeah.
So it's been 6 years I've been doing it now, and then my own gym for that year this past year. So 6 years of being a strength coach,
like an official strength coach.
An official strength coach.
That. Yeah. So gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's stay on the private gym sector of it.
Okay.
You said about over a year now.
Yep.
What's it like being on that side of things now? So now instead of, like, you probably worked for other gyms in the past too, at least maybe training, obviously working for the college. Being on the other side of it, instead of being an employee, now you're you're the owner, operator, you have a lot of things. Is it different? Is it better? Is it worse? What's it like being a business owner in some regards?
It's great. It's challenging, but I'd rather have my own gym than work for somebody else.
Yeah.
I like being my own boss. I like being able to make my own schedule. You know, if I don't have time for somebody, you know, it's not that I don't want to help them, but I have to figure out what's best for me. But there's so many perks of it that I love. It's just the whole experience of just knowing that you have your own facility and you get to make it what you want it to be.
You can adopt a certain set of values and principles and a philosophy to call your own. You know, you don't have to buy into someone else's. Not saying that's a bad thing, but there are times, me talking about from my perspective of like running my own business, I see those same aspects of like, I can kind of like run it how I want to. I can let it cultivate a certain aspect that is part of me. And I guarantee I can see that from an outsider looking in at you is it's a gym, but it's also like it's C-core strength. Like there's a C-core aspect involved in it. It's not just a gym's a gym, but this is different.
Yeah. You get, having my own facility, I get to make it what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
If I want it to be successful, number one, I get to define what that success is going to be. And then from there, I have to have expectations for myself. And I have to have vision on where I want this gym to go. You know, somebody was out, Aaron, our buddy, was asking where do I want to be in, a few years. I want to be one of the top gyms in the nation. I want to be one of the top gyms in the world where, that probably won't happen in 5 years, but you can't sell yourself short.
Never know.
It's going to be, the gym I have right now is just a beginning. It's going to be way different than that when I get it really going. It'll be like a Division I level, if not better, weight room, where I hope at some point I can have professional athletes coming in, training with me in the off season. Keep the kids that I have coming back. I don't know. I think it's very important for the kids that I work with now. If they had the ability to meet some of my professional athletes, it'd be a game changer for their lives. Just push them a little bit more. So I have some dreams that I have not yet achieved that I'm going to still go after. In a year, the thing is blown up for me. I never doubted myself.
Let me ask you this. Was it always the idea to own your own gym? At least, or when did that
It was in the back
evolve?
of my head in grad school.
Yeah.
But I was told that it's not a good idea, so I kind of said maybe it's not a good idea. I was told that, so I questioned it a lot. Like, I had always heard that, there's a lot to it. You're going to have a lot of headaches and whatnot. And I listened for a while. But then I just wasn't getting anywhere in my life. I just felt like I was at a stalemate. Like, being a strength coach is awesome, but I'm not a full-time strength coach out there at Iowa Central. So I got to find a job that'll give me full-time. The farm, that's another thing that's not full-time, my third job.
Yeah.
So I needed something to bring in extra income. And I like not having somebody tell me what to do. And I knew if I started my gym, our gym, I would say, is then I could be my own boss.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I was looking forward to, because there's always been when I've worked for someone, whoever it is, there's something flawed in the system. And I can't change it because I'm not the one in charge. But if it's my system that I've developed and there's a flaw, now I have to take the initiative to change
fix it. Yep.
Yeah. And so I wanted to be in a position where I could do that. So, in this year, it's been a learning experience. There's been headaches, but nothing that I can't handle.
It's funny how, like you said that, how people would say there's a lot of hurdles, there's a lot of like roadblocks, there's gonna be a lot of headaches, a lot of stress. What isn't stressful in life?
This is true.
That's the thing that annoys me when people have that viewpoint on being a business owner or going after something that you want and want to do. No matter what you do, whether you work for yourself or if you're employed with someone, there's going to be a stressful, headache-based problem no matter what. Maybe you're not, you might be employed by someone and they cut your paychecks, but maybe you're limited on the amount of money you can make. Because, well, guess what? My time is now quantified at this number. Mm-hmm. Like my hour, like I am worth this much an hour. I would rather, like, for me, when it comes to my work now, my time is not what I'm providing. And I could see this being in your aspect too. Like you might charge someone X amount an hour, or session, whatever. But it's not the time you're providing. It's a solution. It's a service.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hate when people say that, like, you're gonna have headaches. It's like, yeah, well, I'll have headaches
if I don't do this.
Yeah, my 401k is still gonna come with headaches. Yeah. But if that's the case, then I'm gonna go have headaches doing something that has the possibility of providing an awesome life and just an awesome outlook after the fact.
Yeah, I think, when I was talking to Aaron, we had a good conversation the other day, and he was asking, if you had the opportunity to be a Division I strength coach, would you take it right now? And that's always been a dream of mine. Mm-hmm. And I told him, I don't know if I would, man. And the reason being, one of the high schoolers asked me this the other day, a couple weeks ago. He said, if you could make that much at working with Division I athletes, $300, $400, $500, $600, whatever, $700,000 a year, why are you working with us? And I'm like, I could see your perspective, but the question you need to be asking is, why am I not, why am I working with you? What is the reason? Why do you think I'm working with you? I want to make enough for my family so we can live comfortably. But if I'm not working with the kids I work with, then who's going to work with them? And so when I go back to answer Aaron's question, I had to think about that for a second. And I think there's more of a challenge for myself starting a business from the ground up than there would be being offered a Division I strength and conditioning position.
Yeah.
Because then I would have to deal with the boss. Then somebody's telling me when I'm going to be fired, when I'm not.
Yeah, then I'm going to be. There's no security there.
There's no security. There's politics. Yep. So I like the challenges I'm faced with owning my own gym. I by the work that I do, by the service I'm giving people, that will dictate who comes through my door. Our door. She'll kill me.
Sorry, Allie.
Yeah. It's so then it's just up to me. It's up to that hard grit grind. You work your ass off. If you work your ass off hard enough, there's going to be something that comes of it. And I think right now it's done pretty well from what I've seen, that I'm getting new people every week. Yeah,
because I'm coming in the gym sometimes. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
It's like, because you started out, let's maybe backpedal a little bit.
Yeah.
This all came about because of the pandemic and things shutting down, right? So the gym got shut down where we were training at previously. So your solution was, well, let's figure out a way to still train. You started in what do you guys call it? The dungeon, the cave, dungeon.
Yeah.
This was just like in some guy's warehouse, right?
Allie's bosses, Scott.
Yeah.
Scott allowed us to be there, which was awesome.
And you bought gym equipment before the pandemic.
Yeah,
right?
we went
this
down
was
to St.
pre.
Louis.
Yeah, because I went with you.
Yeah.
How funny is that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Never
Crazy
thought
how stuff happens like
never
that.
thought we'd use it right away.
Yeah.
Never. I mean, when I bought it, I'm like, okay, this would be awesome to use someday.
And you only bought it because it was like
a great deal.
Yeah, you just saw like, hey,
Yeah.
like, I don't
can't-
have use for it right now, but this isn't gonna come around now.
And
Like,
you know-
imagine if you would have tried to buy those things during
the
that
pandemic.
time.
No way. That's insane.
Yeah, so it's so funny how
yeah.
you had that gym equipment already ready.
Oh, yeah.
And then just the
It's just
opportunity
what it was
came.
there. You know, most people during the pandemic fell off. They stopped
Yeah.
working out, stopped training for months. I didn't miss a day. I'm like, there's no way I'm missing a day because that's what most people are going to be doing. They're going to make excuse. Oh, I gained 10, 15, 20 pounds because I didn't have a gym. I was not going to be that person. I'm like, I don't miss days. I'm going to be here when you're not.
Yeah. So what would you call? What would you have called the? So you called it the dungeon.
The
right?
dungeon,
It wasn't
yeah.
yet like
It was like
it wasn't
a-
Secor strength.
No,
obviously.
it was just like a spot for us to train.
Yeah. So
And
you just
that
had
really
a-
got my wheels going.
So what I'm saying was you had a private amount of people like your own like group. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously the guys you trained with at the previous gym.
Yep.
So you had this idea. You're like, all right, I got this gym equipment.
Yeah.
Now we need to find a spot, which
Yeah.
you had, or like, hey, I have
Yeah.
the spot. Let's train here.
Yeah. And
So that was your guys' solution, right?
Yeah, because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just... People needed somewhere to go. If I could help you go, get to that place or keep you in the same position as me, I don't need this just all for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Come in here and you can train, do whatever you want. If you want to train with me, we can train together. But at least I'm giving you the opportunity. And so I had about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's probably at least 10 of us
Yeah.
that would train regularly, and it was hot as hell. It was cold in the beginning because it was in March, so we wore sweatpants, stocking caps, and all that stuff. And then in the summer, we just had fans going, humid, sweating our butts off.
Yep.
Okay,
so we have that kind of base down. We didn't even find a place to train. Let's use this equipment and let's
Yep.
use this. But this was like just like your training group, right? You had training partners,
Yep.
and you guys made a solution
made it happen.
to
Yeah.
find a place to work out at.
And solution is the key word, man.
Yep. So after the fact, what happened? You guys continued to work out there even after things started opening back up, right?
Yeah, we had been away from our gym we were at prior. And going into that, I'm like, there's no way I could train in this space forever because I need this machine. I need this,
Yep.
This equipment. And we had made it work for at least 4 months. Like, I don't need anything. I don't need anything. You give me the equipment I have, I'm good to go.
Yep.
And we were challenged with how to find a solution to the pandemic. We were able to accept that. Okay, it's not going to change. We're on shutdown. What can we do? How do we make the best of this? And those are memories I'm going to have forever. I mean, that's kind of off the subject, but what we did in there could show anybody that you can do whatever if you want to find that solution bad enough. Training's been my life for probably close to, I don't know, a long time now. So I wasn't going to allow this shutdown to affect my training. So we just kept going. So we were there for at least 4 months. Didn't go back to our old spot.
Yep. So the gyms are starting to open back up.
Yeah.
The world's kind of, in some aspect, getting in somewhat of a normalcy.
Yeah.
Like you just said, like, hey, we have this spot. We've been doing it for 4 months. I don't think there's any reason to just call it quits and go back to the normal gym. So how long did you stay there before you were like, all right, we're growing out of this location? Like, this isn't going to, like, this can't be the long-term thing or whatever. What brought the idea of like, all right, well, I guess we have to make this dream of yours an official reality? Because obviously that wasn't like your gym. The dungeon wasn't.
No.
But it was the
beginnings.
it was the
works.
foundation of like, hey, we can cultivate a location that we can provide this atmosphere and this aspect of training in. So that obviously gave you the idea. But what was the catalyst of going from, because you obviously could have stayed in that place for longer than you were.
Mm-hmm.
You could have been like, all right, I mean, this is fine.
Yeah.
If so-and-so doesn't mind or whatever, we can keep like, but obviously I think space came into a factor.
Yeah. The weather.
Yep. And weather.
I didn't want to have to train when it was 0 degrees out.
Yep. So yeah, what was like that the nail in the coffin or whatever that made it official? Like, all right, we're going to do the necessary steps to get a gym in place. The official Secor strength.
You know, it was during the whole thing, during the whole pandemic. We had already started our everything before the pandemic started. We had made that decision. I want to say we got numbers going in February, March, maybe.
Okay,
I don't think it was the dungeon that made it, because we had already gotten our LLC by the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had gotten it. I want to say it was like March or April, or I don't know. People had been talking to me and been saying for a long time, dude, you just need to open up your own gym.
Damn, I didn't know this.
Yes.
I thought it was the dungeon that sparked it.
No,
obviously that probably fast tracked it more than obviously.
Yeah, they were working on our gym in July. They started our gym in July, and we were finished like August 14th.
Yep, I remember that.
So we were still training at the dungeon up to the point that the gym got done.
Mm-hmm.
So we had discussed, Allie and myself had discussed earlier that year in January.
So if the pandemic wouldn't have happened, this still would have been an occurrence in July?
I don't know if we would have
maybe
pulled
longer.
It would have taken us longer to.
But you're
to get
saying
to
that
point.
the developmental process was in play prior to
it was.
COVID.
And then with COVID happening, really assured me that I could do this.
Yeah,
which is ass backwards, because most people were losing members. Most people weren't. It was hard to survive. I was gaining confidence during COVID. COVID gave me confidence. It gave me a big head. I'm just kidding. But it made me realize that, if I get 10 people here of all different ages and they're coming in the door daily, I can get more than that. I have no doubt in my mind I can get more than that.
for sure.
And so that's where my arrogance was just like, yeah, let's do this. Like, okay, so we had our wheels going. We already had everything planned. Now I was seeing that we could run this. We're doing it in a warehouse. This is not anywhere close to where the size of our building is going to be. So this is be easy. We got the equipment. As we grow, we can get more equipment. And then we just kept finding more deals during COVID. COVID helped us because gyms were shutting down. So with the gym shutting down, we were finding deals on things that you normally wouldn't.
I thought maybe it was just some of the equipment, because I know there was some stuff you just couldn't find. Was this from maybe obviously you were doing like private sales? You were buying privately, right?
Yeah,
from
yeah.
like other people, gym shutting down gyms, like you said.
Yeah.
Because I do remember people were like trying to get their hands on equipment and you just couldn't find it.
No.
But this was obviously
tough.
from like manufacturers.
Yeah.
So you were going with the like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So we got lucky on some deals, and then we just kept collecting. And then our gym got done in August, first or second week, I believe. And then we were up and running. And yeah, that was the beginning. And we were in that space, it was our 40 by 50 space, for almost a year. And then we decided in the spring that we wanted to pull the plug this year and add on. And we decided that because we'd get about 25 people in our gym in the 40 by 50 space, and you could not move.
Yep, I remember that.
And
that was kind of one of the reasons, because I never left. I never was in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Because I was fortunate enough to be employed from a gym that, even though we were shut down, I still had access because I was an employee there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do remember, like, I was coming in periodically, and yeah, that was I wouldn't say it was a negative thing, but there was just a problem that, not even a problem, but you had to be like with the group in order to train. And I obviously have like a program, and like I train differently.
Yeah.
So if like I'm training on the side, it's hard to train on the side.
Yep.
When this place is just so congested.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you expanded the gym, so you built on to that current location. Were you surprised at that? Maybe it happened as that soon, and you probably knew it was going to happen. So did you know that you were going to build on to that location, and were you surprised that it happened so soon?
Yeah. I was second guessing myself on. I didn't know when we were going to add on.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing. I didn't know when. I knew we needed to. I just thought it'd be kind of dumb if we did it so quickly.
Yeah.
That's it's a risk that I didn't know we could take, and so we talked a lot about it. And I knew when we built it, I said, "This is not enough. There's no way this is a big enough gym for what I want to do." And how my dream of what this gym what I want it to be like.
So, okay, since that was kind of your thought, did you know that when and if it happened, it was going to be that, like, you were going to add on whatever way it was going to be? Or was it always something like, hey, maybe we might have to think of a different spot or whatever?
No,
So you're saying it was always, we'll just kick out this wall.
So I thought we would build on to the side of it.
Okay.
Going out east towards one of the fields. That was my thought. That's what we had talked about. But the crazy thing was we were already discussing in December, can we add on next year? It was when we started in September, and then I started getting a lot of my athletes in, and that's where it got really congested, as you were seeing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't. This isn't what people want. I love it, though. Like, I love being in an environment where I have to figure out chaos. I love it because that's what I deal with daily.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fine with that, but most people are not fine with that because they're just not used to that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to respect that, and I get it. And so seeing that and seeing people like frustrations a little bit about like, I want to be doing this, but I can't. I don't have the space.
There's no more racks. There's no this. There's no that.
I knew like I needed to find a solution faster than not. But at the same time, it was good. Mm-hmm. It's a good problem. But I didn't want to have that problem that quickly. But I also did want to have that problem that quickly because it shows that the gym is successful, or we're moving up, not going down. So we started talking, and like it was as early as we finished it. I'm like, Allie, this is not big enough. She's like, well, we can't financially add on. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And I think it was in December where we're finally like, okay, we got it. We really need to figure out something. So I contacted the banker that helped me through this, and I said, run some numbers for me, will you? Tell me and I talked to my builder that did the first part of the gym. I said, what is it going to cost? Because at this time too, with the pandemic, everything was skyrocketing, lumber, everything
materials.
Was stupid. And I said, can you give me a realistic number on what it would cost if I added on another 40 by 40 to this building? He gave me that number. I had my banker run numbers in January or February, and we were set to go with financially in March. And I told Joey, the guy our contractor, I said, we're going to do this. Now, we thought, in December, November, October, that it was going to be impossible. There's no way we could do it. You're able to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And that's just showing me
there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah. So that's really been the experience of the philosophy that I have, is just showing yourself what you're capable of. Mm-hmm. And so the gym is doing that every day. So we started adding on the new part in July, right around the same time.
It's about basically an annual thing.
Annual thing, yeah. So next year I got to add on again. No. But yeah, so we started adding on in July, and we went off to the back side of it.
Yep.
So right now you really can't tell in the gym that there really was an addition.
No.
I think how they tied it in is perfect.
No, yeah, it's seamless for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, yeah, we did the 40 by 40, kind of, I guess, close to doubling its size, and that's where we're at right now. So it's been perfect, I guess.
Nice. Now, maybe for the listeners out there, to describe the gym, because we talked about this, you want and have your aspirations and desires of it's going to be this environment, this whatever. What are some of those things? What's like if someone were to ask you like, all right, what's your values? What's your gym about? How would you describe it to them?
I would say the gym is intimidating. I would say that's just being honest. But there's not one single person that couldn't fit in 100%. Like it's not your typical gym environment.
Yeah.
Everybody.
And like we described, it's not a public gym.
Yeah.
It's not your traditional like commercial gym.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you're going to get a membership and you can come in and kind of do what you want. You can, but like, yeah, you have a certain feel to it. Like I would say if I was going to describe Secor strength, it's just that. It's a dynamic, like raw environment, but you just have a certain feel to it. Like I don't want to say it's a powerlifting gym. It's not. It's a very wide range of training principles, but it does have that bit of like grit to it. Mm-hmm. Like you're not going to come in and sit on an elliptical and then go do your adductors in the corner. It's not that kind of gym.
Yeah.
But it's also not like, hey, you're going to come here and you're going to do like West Side barbell, like chain stuff. Like you have the opportunity to still train in a different element compared to some. So it's probably one of more of those maybe like middle ground. Because you have machines, you still have some cardio equipment and stuff. But I would say you're going to find people that are coming in to like, we're going to come to train, not work out.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted an environment where, I like the raw, I like the environment where people are amped up.
And I don't want to say things like gritty and raw to where it's still a friendly atmosphere.
But that's what people need to expect.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, even though it's raw, it's gritty, it's hard, it's whatever, doesn't mean you can't come.
Yeah, exactly. That's
what people, and it's a misconception. You see a gym like what we have and you think, oh, there's no way I could do that. There's so many people I talk to, I can't do that. I couldn't fit in there, or I'm not strong enough, or, all this self-doubt. And I'm like, I get it. I understand it, but that doesn't mean you can't come. Mm-hmm. Let me help you. Let me help you get to that position where you're like, that confidence is building. I would say one of the best things I can see people is the confidence in where they start and where they're going. It's a journey. The gym's a journey for everybody. That's at the gym that we own. You see all these, we have the record board, and you see these people and where they started, and you can kind of see them grow, and you can see them grow, mentally and physically. And that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
I mean, I love lifting. I love loud music. I love all that. But that's not what I want the gym to teach you. I want the gym to teach you something about you. Something that you can take for the rest of your life and use it. Use it to better yourself in other aspects. That's what the gym does for me. That 2 hour time that I'm training is a betterment for the rest of my life, for everything else I do. You do one thing one way, you'll do it the same way in other aspects. So why not use the gym to know that you're bettering your health mentally and physically, but even more than that. And I've never seen that at other gyms. No. So I wanted it to be unique for that.
Yeah. I would like, it's a nice place, and you have it well set up. Is like, you're going to have a sense of freedom there to come and like train how you want it. But you also don't have that sense of like wander and a sense of like you're lost in the gym. Because you see that in so many like commercial gyms where people are coming in, they're paying a membership due, and they're just kind of getting free reign at the place. But it's like walking into like a grocery store, and it's all in Spanish, and you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do here? Mm-hmm. Like I can maybe figure out some things, like, hey, this is that, but there's a sense of like, people being lost in the gym. Like, I know I need to be here, I know I need to work out, but I don't really know how to apply these machines and stuff. So you have a really good setup. Is there's some freedom in it, but there's also a sense of accountability and a sense of coaching, whether they're paying you or not. Like there's always a tutelage.
Yeah.
Because you have people, even if it's not necessarily you, it's someone else that's like, hey, we're doing this together. We're on this journey together. Like you can come in, you can squat, you can do whatever you want. But if you want to ask questions, if you want more advice, there's opportunities to get it there as well. Yeah. You don't have to like just wander around like a lost puppy.
Yeah.
So it's a cool dynamic.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about though at other gyms. And I think it's more of just me going back to myself. And when you have gyms like that and you have these people that are lost, they're searching for somebody to guide them. And I was there. I've been there in many aspects besides the gym, wanting somebody just to help me along, and I see that. I search for that. I search for people who are lost because I think we're all lost in some aspects. So we just need to be guided by the right person, people. And that's what I see. The people in the gym have been molded into doing that. You can look at it. This is more, I don't know how to explain this, but it's more like we have a lot of shepherds.
Yeah.
If you want to use that analogy, it sounds crazy, but a
I
lot
get
of
it.
people that just are there and to better themselves, but to better everybody else. If you're doing one type of lift, people are going to be watching you. And then they're going to say, hey, like you did that really well, or that was awesome.
Yep.
Maybe work on this, or here's a coaching tip. And so everybody's for everybody. There's not one person that's alone. And that's the environment that I want at the gym. I don't give a shit if you're stronger, bigger, whatever. As long as you bring the mentality that you're willing to help yourself, but then at the same time, you're not going to put other people down because you think you're better than them, then I'm all for you. Because that's a problem. People always are against each other.
Yeah.
Because that's how people are. And a gym is a perfect place for that environment. You can either have it or you're not going to have it. I don't have time for that. Sure. I'm going to run it how I want to run it. And if you don't respect that, then I'm not going to cuss, but get out.
Get out. Yeah, for sure. So the atmosphere in the gym and like the elements involved. So it's obviously people pay like a membership due or whatever. And they have the ability to come and do their own workouts.
Yeah.
But you also have opportunities. You have coaching opportunities, so you can say like, "Hey, if you want some training, whatever." So there's that, and then you also have your groups of athletes. Is there anything else like?
I do
kind
programming.
of it, right? Programming, okay.
Yeah,
so
programming is another thing. I program for a few people in the gym.
Yeah. And people who maybe don't know what programming is you get workout design. You basically get a workout plan for you, but you do it. You're not coached through it. You're not like, there's not a trainer there in your face. Like, hey, do these many reps, whatever.
Yeah. I'll just walk you through it.
Yeah.
And
like, hey, here's your workout plan.
Yeah.
Now you have the opportunity to go do it whenever you want. There's just some structure to it.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people need. So that's what I do.
Now, is that kind of like your base going forward? Is there anything maybe you want to bring in down the road or whatever?
It's busy enough.
Yeah.
I run an elementary group twice a week. I run a middle school group 3 times a week. I run a high school group 5 times a week. And then I have about 10 clients that I personal train on the side of those groups. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's like 15. I don't even know. And then, and then the programming is for about 3 people, I think, in the gym.
Okay.
That are members. So other than that, I'd like to get some speakers in at some point, talking to,
okay.
Yeah, just some other.
When you said speakers, I thought it was like,
oh yeah,
surround sound.
No, like some legit like speakers that I know that would be good for people to listen to, help us build ourselves better. I actually got asked to talk to a team, motivational speech talk, which is going to be interesting.
Where?
Manson volleyball team.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to do that on Wednesday. I got to come talk to them 3 times. And I don't know how soon, but first one's going to be on Wednesday, and then their coach wanted me to do a couple more times. So that's something I've never even done yet.
What is? I'm trying to think. So it's not like a pep talk in some regards.
It's like a pep talk.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is it like pre-game or is it just?
Yeah, they have
just
a big game on Thursday, I guess. And so their coach.
But this is not on game day though.
Mm-mm.
No.
Mm-mm. So it's not like a pep talk, but it's more motivational.
Okay.
Like where I know what's going on a little bit, and so then I just gotta talk to them.
Rally the troops.
Yeah.
Okay.
How we're gonna play this game the next day, and how we're gonna beat the defeat. How we're gonna stay positive and whatnot.
Yeah.
And
So you're applying teaching points into it. Okay.
Yeah. So that'll be new.
Gotcha. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, man. That's some world that I have not gotten into that I definitely want to get into.
Yeah.
That's a dream of mine. People have told me that I could do it. It's just got to start listening, and you got to start somewhere. And I do it to a lot of my teams as it is right now.
Yeah.
So it's just doing it for other teams, giving them some of the messages that I think that need to be heard to overcome the obstacles.
For sure. Now, keeping on with the gym expansion.
Yep.
I'm assuming now it's at a place where you feel pretty content.
Yeah.
In the meantime, right?
Yeah, I think for right now I might add some more members into it.
Yeah.
Serious members that want to get after it. But I think space-wise, I'm okay.
Yep.
We'll see though. If I get a couple teams like teams in there, I might be at that point where I'm like, okay, we got to expand more. But I don't bring teams, like I haven't gotten a team in there yet to train, so I don't know where we're at with space. I think we'll be okay. If I have a team of like 25, I think I could get it because I got another rack coming. Mm-hmm. So I think I'll be fine with space-wise if, I did like 3 per rack or whatever. But we're where we need to be right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. There's space is nice, diversity of equipment and stuff's nice. Mm-hmm. That's solid. What's gonna be? Let's say it does come. Like give it a year or two or whatever. What's it gonna look like? Where are you gonna go? You're just gonna try to take on that whole field, or?
That'll be a good question.
Because you can't go out or you can't go back anymore, right? You're gonna.
I could go. I would have to. That would be a question for the family. You know, if I could use some of the farmland, or if I could, or maybe I'll just go out sideways off the building, off the side.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I'm not even worried about it until it gets to that point. But I'll have a solution.
But I would say, but you're no matter what though, it's gonna be there, like homeland, right?
For now.
Yeah, you don't know.
I mean, I would love to. Like, I have these dreams of having a building that's absolutely ginormous. Like I don't even know what to explain. Like there's a gym in Florida called I Am Athlete.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
For the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the guys owns that gym.
Okay.
If you get a chance, check it out. It is immaculate. That's what I want a gym to look like. Oregon weight room. You seen their weight room?
Yep.
That's immaculate. That's the dreams I have for something like where you walk into the gym and you're speechless because of how it looks, how it's put together, the equipment. That's where we're going now. And then the space will come with it. But, I don't know. That's where I'm at right now. Maybe in a few years.
Time.
In a few years, it might be totally different. My mindset on that. But I just keep telling myself this isn't good enough yet. There's never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
And that's just the mentality of my brain. My brain will not allow me to be in a position to ever settle. There's always something I can do to make this gym better. And that's the goal. I want this gym for you to be the best experience of a gym that you can go to. I want it to be for the next person, the next person, the next person. Any one of my clients, I want them to have the best experience that they want to keep coming back. And so with having that mindset, I got to continue to make changes so it becomes that.
Yeah.
The expectation and the standard has to be up very high so that you want to step back in that door day in and day out. And I got to find a way to do that. So if I was settling and I didn't put all my energy into it, it would just be a mediocre gym.
Yeah. Just be another gym.
Another gym. This isn't another gym. This is the gym. This is the gym that you can go to get better. No, and there's no excuses why you can't do that.
I like it. All right. Let's change subjects now.
Okay.
Let's maybe talk about family life. Family life.
All right.
How's being a daddy, man?
Man.
For many who maybe don't know, I want to call you a new dad, but you're
dad.
a
Newborn
dad. Yeah. How old's
Magnus is 8 months.
8 months? Yeah.
Kyle's 8 years old. So I got 2 stepson and newborn. That is not my stepson. Yeah.
So how being 8 months of fatherhood.
Yeah.
Plus, obviously, the time you've spent with Calvin.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's been most of his life.
What is that like? Is it what you think it was going to be? Or is it different? What's it like, and is it what you think it was going to be? Thought it was like?
It's great. You know, I don't know. I don't know if you truly know what it's gonna ever be like. You might have an idea, like it might be a certain way or whatever, but it's better than what I thought.
Okay.
It's more meaningful than what I thought. It's more, man, kids are just different. They change you. They change everything about yourself. Everything you thought you knew will change when you have a kid. And they motivate you. They push you. When you look at your child and they look back at you, it's an experience, a feeling that nobody really will understand until they have their kids. Mm-hmm. Could be biological, non-biological. When that child looks at you, man, and that's the best thing in the world. I'll give you an example. Like Calvin's a little bit older, and so it's a little bit different with him. But like Magnus, he's a very chill baby, big baby, but he will smile when I see him. He'll smile, mm-hmm. or when I talk to him. The smile that he gives back is something I can't explain. Like that's the stuff that makes you want to cry. Like that reminds you why you're on this earth. When you get that feeling of your kid, or like there's times where he'll be just sitting in front of me in the gym and just watching,
observing
it, and it's just like, man, like
cool.
Yeah. Like I have my own child just someday hopefully going to be walking in my footsteps, and that experience is amazing. Like I don't know the right words to explain how it is, but it makes you feel something. Mm-hmm. It makes you feel something in your heart that you don't feel besides the love you have for your family. That's what kids are to me. It's a feeling. There's a special spot that's in everybody's heart when there's that love for something. And that's what that feeling is for me and my kids. It's a little bit tougher. No, it's not really, I don't know how to explain it. Calvin's at that different age. So he's not the same. I can't be the same with him because of I can, but I can't. Like I'm not going to kiss Calvin as much. I kiss Magnus like 50 million times a day.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just what I do, because that affectionate love is contagious for your child. And so I know that, and so I give it. Mm-hmm. And I'll kiss, I'll kiss Calvin on the head here and there. Yeah. And he's like, what the hell?
He'll probably slap you. And
yeah, like that's disgusting.
Ew.
Like you don't ew me for this one. But there's something about the touch, the feeling, the squeeze that you can't take that away.
No.
It's a very personal thing. And I was told before I had my own kids that I'd be a great dad, and I wanted to live up to that with my kids. And so I'm trying to do that every single day. It's challenging though. The challenging part is my life. My life is not normal. And so there's times where I'm missing out on things, and it sucks. Like that's one thing I wish I could change, straight up. But
would there be ever a time? So I kind of asked this earlier. Maybe I didn't ask it right.
mm-hmm.
Like, so let's say long term for the gym, is there ever going to be a point where you want to get it to where it's almost self-ran, to where you could have that opportunity to like step back and have people and things in place to where it's like, okay, it's still going to be Secor,
mm-hmm.
but I have the people in place that are going to take things off my plate to where you can, because I would say, like, I even see in my aspect of my work is that would be something I would want to have as well, to where you're your own boss and things like that. But
mm-hmm.
I would assume that's kind of anyone's objective, is like making things
I'd like
run
to make
tight ship to where it's like, all right, now
I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
I can enjoy my life. And that's
my money's making money.
Yeah, exactly. Without me being there. Yeah, I definitely, that's a huge goal of mine. I always tell myself every day when I'm questioning like the hours I put in, or not questioning it. Well, questioning it, but trying to understand why I'm really doing it. Because I question myself, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you doing this to your family? Why are you not being that dad that's around all the time like other dads are? But I just reminds myself, or I remind myself that there's a reason for it. In the end, I want to be financially able to step away and let my family be in a position where we are comfortable living and knowing that this is all worth it. So I'm going to grind my ass off as long as it takes me to get to that point. And I will get to that point at some point. But now I'm sacrificing things, But if I have that little bit of time, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use it with the family. I'm going to use it, like today I had to program, and Allie had to take photos. So Magnus was with me when I was programming, and I just had him sit on my lap when I was trying to work on the computer, which I didn't get very much done because he wants to play with everything. But that's okay. That's time needed. We all need that time.
That's a memory now.
Exactly. And so just doing the best I can is all I can ask myself to do. And then if it's not enough, then I just got to do better. Always got to continue to move up the hill. So no, the family's awesome, man. It's awesome too seeing people at the gym. Magnus is probably held by the most people. I mean, he should be the most sociable kid ever. Just
You'd
because
assume so.
You would assume so. With the amount of people that hold him and that love him, and that, that's the cool thing too about this gym, is that you have every walk of life in their gym. I mean, every walk of life. There's all different nationalities, all different people, all different backgrounds, but they're all in there and everybody cares about one another. And I can trust them enough for them to hold my kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's big. Like, there's not a lot of gyms that I could say, oh yeah, hold my kid.
Yeah.
Or hey, hold on 1 second. Will you hold him?
What the hell?
Yeah.
Like, you can't go into a
normal
24-hour fitness.
Hey, will you hold my kid?
Yeah.
I gotta hit the set. Or whatever. So that's special. And I love the environment that like Calvin's being brought into. It's an environment that'll set him up, hopefully, to find success.
Yeah.
Because he sees everybody coming in day in, day out. It's teaching him commitment, consistency, discipline.
Yep.
This is how we do it. And I mean, he's seeing it by what I do every day. The other day he got out of school early, so I was training alone and he had to spot me. So I had like 6 blocks. It was on the bench. So I put like 6 blocks under his feet so he could be high enough to give me a lift off. And it was just me and him. And he was giving me the lift. All I needed was a lift off.
Okay.
I wouldn't put myself in a position where he's got to actually pull the bar off.
I was gonna say, is this a position where you're letting him spot just for the like opportunity's sake?
No, I'm making him learn how to spot.
Yeah, that's what I mean too. But it's not like you weren't actually like, hey, Calvin, I'm relying on you to have my back on this.
Yeah,
one.
no, it wasn't like, okay, if I fail, I'm dead.
Yeah.
But it was, okay, you need to give me this lift off because my arms are too short.
Yep.
So he gave me a lift off.
Probably like, everything he had.
Yeah. I'm sorry, he went to, and the funny thing is his breathing was on sync with my breathing.
Oh, really?
So like I always, and he when I said 1, 2, 3, He did it too. Got it out to me. It was pretty awesome. And then after that, what I had him do was I was doing a block bench.
Was he shitting bricks during this, or was it?
No,
was
he's
it more
comfortable.
Like, cool? Like, oh yeah,
I think he
this
was
is
cool. I think he likes that.
Cool.
It gives him not appreciation, but a sense of, I don't know the word. It just shows him he can be part of this.
Yeah.
So he always wants to hold the block.
Probably a sense of, not necessarily worth, but like.
Well, yeah, self-worth, or he's part of it.
Yeah.
That's.
What is that word?
He's
involved. He's part of it. Yeah.
He's part of the group.
Whatever that term is.
I always wonder like what I would have been like if I had that opportunity. Man, I would have been eating that stuff up. If you put me in a gym around some strong people at 8 years old, I think I would have thought that was the coolest thing in the world. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. So I try to like think like he would think, or like a child would think, and give him a chance to be able to get what I didn't get.
Yeah.
And so that he can learn from it or be part of it. And so he would hold the block for me for the rest of my sets, and that was cool because he had a job to do. This is your job, do it correctly. And so then, and he's seeing it. Magnus is seeing it. Hopefully, they're going to be some really good lifters with great technique as they grow and get older. That's the hope too.
What's his like? How is it? Because he's training with you in some of the sessions that you do. This is obviously. I'm assuming he's all about it. All about it. Is he all about it?
Depends on the
Sometimes.
day. No, he is because his friends are there.
Yeah.
So it's more of like they got that relationship now that he wants to see his buddies. And so they all work hard, so it pushes him to work hard. Not that he wouldn't, but it pushes him even more. Because there's some really good athletes that train in his group that are older than him. And so I think he kind of looks up to those kids, or some of them, and it pushes him to get better. He's one of the younger ones, weaker ones, but he attacks it pretty well. He gives up, though, a little bit, but I think as he gets older, he's going to quit that.
Yeah.
It's just
I would say he probably does have that security blanket of like, oh, it's Miguel. Like,
yeah, but I don't treat him any different.
Yeah.
I'm hard on him.
But
like,
I would assume like if it was either me or maybe even just some other like person that has a credibility, I'm assuming he'd maybe not be as like flexible of like
yeah,
because I've
he does that. He does. All right, be that guy.
Yeah,
be that little kid. That's fine.
Yeah,
just
I know
that.
you're doing the things in place, but I just know that he could probably be. Let's say if it's like at a football camp or whatever. Yeah. I don't think Calvin's that type of kid.
No.
To do that in like a public setting.
No, he wouldn't.
So it's obviously he's in the comfort of like, oh,
yeah. Oh, he was mad the other day because he had to do 100 up downs because they missed a ball and he was the last guy to miss the ball. So he thought I was going to let him go. No, you got 100, man. You missed that ball.
Wait,
really?
Everyone got to 100?
No, just the person that missed the ball. So we were doing like this reaction.
Yeah.
Hand-eye coordination. And the goal was not to drop the ball 6 times. So they're passing it. There's 3 people. They were hitting it off the garage. This guy would pass it to me. I'd pass it to you. You'd pass it back. Just back and forth. Well, he was the last one, and he was hogging the ball a little bit. You were supposed to catch it, and he went in front of you, or in front of the guy, and missed it. I'm like, oh, that sucks.
Mistake.
Yeah, get 100. Oh, that's too much. I can't.
Was he the only one that got 100?
No, there was another kid that got 100 because he said I can't.
Ooh.
So anytime you say I can't in the gym, just be aware of that now. Anybody hears it, they're gonna be like, "You have 100 reps, 100 up downs." So like they know that
100 up downs.
100 up downs, man.
That's nuts.
It is nuts.
That's a good. All right, let's talk about Hell Week now.
Oh,
being
the
that
fun stuff.
Being that we're on up downs.
Hell yeah.
So just to give some context to the listeners, Hell Week is a week in rugby season training preseason. It's a conditioning, it's developmental, it's a mental developmental thing. So it's just a week within the preseason, right?
Right before,
that we do.
Starts.
So it's like it's morning training.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of just absolute brutal stuff.
It's mental warfare.
Yep. How would you describe it as, like, what's the point behind Hell Week for athletes?
If you want to be, I tried to explain this to somebody. It's like Navy SEAL training in a simple form, but it's like getting beat into a gang. That's how I look at it. Because, and I say that, not that I'm for gangs, but if you look at a gang, like, there's something to that. So every single person, there's 75 guys on the team. I think we lost 2. So we had 73 guys that are going through this beating.
It's like an initiation
into this brotherhood. And it starts day 1 on Monday. They train 3 times a day. They're getting running in the ground. But when they look at everybody by them, everybody else is going through the same suck. Everybody else is getting beaten in the ground. So by the end of the week, it becomes more of we beat this together. And our team right now is strong as hell because of Hell Week. Mm-hmm. Last year, we didn't have Hell Week because of COVID. We weren't the same team. Right now, what I'm hearing from the guys is we're different. And it's because of what we did.
Yeah.
So
there was a point. Was this Thursday, Wednesday? Thursday?
Well, so, yes.
When was the up down? So, again, talk about up downs.
The up downs, yeah.
We did a whole day of up downs.
Yes.
A whole day of up downs.
Yes.
How many did they do?
Like 260 or 280.
Yeah. 280 up downs.
Yeah.
And it took
almost an hour.
The whole hour.
Yeah. And the reason why they did this was because they know the expectation is set day 1 is don't be late, be early, because that's how you should be in life, right? And so my expectation was when you come to the weight room, so they were lifting every day during this Hell Week, you need to be 15 minutes early. Every minute you're late every second is an up down. So if you're
so even if they're early,
15 minutes, let's say they're
early
minutes.
5 minutes or 10 minutes. That's late.
That's late. Let me tell you something on that. So I had a kid last Thursday that came in 5 minutes late. He was supposed to be there at 8, came in at 8:05.
Okay.
We don't start.
So he was
till
actually
8:15.
late.
No. So we were starting at 8:15.
Okay.
But that early, you have to be there at 8:00,
Yep.
15 minutes early.
So he was
early, but he wasn't
not.
there.
Yep.
So he had whatever that is, 300 up downs, and he thought I was kidding. And I'm like, no.
How many per minute?
It's 60.
And he was 5 minutes?
Yeah. Did I do my math right? That's 300. I'm pretty sure.
60 times 5?
Yeah.
Don't ask.
That's
me.
300. Yeah. No, yeah, it's 300.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a lot.
No, yeah. So he looked at me and like, man, just get to it. It's going to take you the whole lift. So, and then I have another injured guy that counted all of his reps. And most people say that you're a dick. You're an asshole. No, yeah, I am. I am that. But why don't you ask why I do it?
There's a lot of substance behind it. Yeah.
Everything I do, there's some reason why I do it. But people don't ask the right questions. They look at you like you're crazy, which I love. Look at me like I'm crazy. I'm fucking crazy. Like I like that's fine. Crazy gets you somewhere. Non-crazy just gets you. It gets you to be average. Be average. That's your thing. But I don't want my kids to be average.
Yeah.
So these kids are learning day 1 of Hell Week. Okay, they first try to like push the limits a little bit. Coach Secor is not going to make us do all this stuff. He's not going to be like that. Because of maybe their experiences they had before they got to Iowa Central. Maybe they had a strength coach or maybe a coach that worked them but didn't work them at the level that we work them. And so like that day 1, we're running sprints. Day 1, we did 25 meter sprints, 50 meter sprints, 100 meter sprints, 200 meter sprints, and 300 meter sprints. Stupid. So like guys were puking and one of my things is when you're dying, you don't bend over, you stand up. If you have to puke, you don't bend over, you stand up and puke. There's never a time I want to see you defeated with your body. Because if your body's showing me fatigue and tiredness, it's your mind that's doing it. Mm-hmm. So, it's hilarious because I have guys, standing up and puking. Yeah. So, like, that was Monday, and then they lifted with me, and then they had practice after that. Mm-hmm. And then Tuesday was gassers. I believe it was gassers. Across the field, the width of the field, back and forth.
Yep.
Remember that? That was probably worse than Monday.
Because the hill's Wednesday.
And then the hill is Wednesday, which is the death day.
Explain the hill.
The D-Day. The hill is that point where you're almost giving up. You're midweek, your body's banged up. It's a very good time for you to quit if you want to quit because you don't know if you can make it. You don't think it's going to be that bad until you see the hill. But even seeing the hill doesn't give you the perspective yet until you start doing it to question if you're going to actually make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this hill is at our park, Kennedy Park, which is a sledding hill. So it's very steep.
Yep.
It's a crappy hill, but it's the hill. It's what we do in the midweek to see truly what you're made of. So we start off with our warm-up, a dynamic warm-up, and then we do the actual warm-up that we normally do on flatland on the hill to start. Mm-hmm. So we did high knees up the hill, butt kicks up the hill, skips up the hill. That was part of the warm-up. And then we did, I think that was it. And then we went straight into the actual training, which we did 5 sprints up, and they had about 10 seconds to get back down once they sprint up the hill. And then we went back pedal up the hill 5 times, down and up and down. And then we did lateral shuffle, 3 reps on your right side, 3 reps on your left side. Then we did bear crawl up the hill 5 times. Then we did backwards bear crawl up the hill 5 times. And then we finished with 5 sprints up the hill. And that took about an hour, continuous, little rest for water. And then to top that off, when they got done with that, they had about a 10 minutes body weight circuit on the beach, which you did.
Yep.
To just finish them.
Finisher.
Yep. And so that's probably the hardest point of being physically and mentally just done that they've ever probably been in their lives.
And the reason to do this is
because if you can overcome this, there's not ever anything you cannot overcome in your life. Why? That's a crazy mentality, but that's what everybody needs. They don't need the hill, but they need to experience like the hill.
They need a hill, yeah.
They need
metaphorical, whatever.
Yes.
Kinda, yeah.
Because we're all at some point going to reach that deep, dark, lonely period in our lives where we do not know how to overcome it. And my thought is, why not do it when you have other people around helping you do it?
Yep.
Why not do it with your brother or your sister? Why not do it together? And that's the thing too. When you're in that deep and dark place, you don't have to be alone to get through it. 9 times out of 10, you shouldn't be alone.
No.
You should have somebody that's going to help you out of that hole. And so if I can teach them how to do that with each other, they're becoming a stronger team. So when they get in that position on the pitch where they might be losing or they might be losing hope, they're going to be able to pick each other up. But then even to go a step further than that, if you're my brother, if you're my teammate and you've lost a family member, you're going through a breakup, man, now I'm going to help you out of that.
Yep.
Because you helped me through Hell Week. You helped me through the hill. You've helped me through times in my life. And that's, they're building, they don't probably get it yet, but what we're doing is molding them.
Mm-hmm, for sure.
And that's the whole point. Mold you to be in a position in your life that you can look back on this and know you did it.
For sure. So then we get to this Thursday, right?
Thursday.
So Thursday was the up-down day.
Yeah.
So you were explaining how if you're late, and some of the guys were late.
Yeah, so some of the guys had to take a shit at like 5:20 or 5:25, and these guys that take shits take like 10-minute shits. And these are my bigger dudes.
Yep.
So they don't get down to the...
And they drove down that day, right?
No. That was Friday. Friday they drove down. Thursday they had to run down. And we didn't explain this, but these guys had to run to the pitch every day, which is about a mile. I think maybe it's not a mile. It's probably close to a mile down to the pitch from the campus.
Gotta be close.
And then when they get done with me and with the conditioning, they have to run back. Or they walk back to campus.
But they have to travel that distance again.
They can't drive down.
Yep. So they were late.
They were late 3 minutes. Yep. So the clock is going on the scoreboard. It's 6:03.
And 60 burpees a minute, right?
Yep. So they had 180 to start.
Yep.
Which, it comes back to me and myself, and I'm fighting myself sometimes. And during that morning when I saw 6:03, I'm like, when we were doing the warm up, I was questioning, should I make them do this 180 or should we just get through our circuits? Because I really wanted to do the agility drills and rugby drills.
That's one of my favorite days.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's just it's a fun day. It's kind of that, because the hill I'd say probably the peak. Of there. And there's like not a downhill from like,
but it kind of
hard, but it's still
easy.
Yeah.
A little bit easier, I would say.
I'd say just less intense.
Yeah.
It's still hard. It's still like meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the come down from there.
Yeah. And so we're warming up, and I see the clock, and I'm like, we're not on the line. We get on the line at 6:03, and as we're warming up, I'm battling myself. Should I do this? Should I not do this? If I don't do this, what's the outcome? If we do this, what's the outcome? And I said, you know what? If I don't do this, I'm letting them down. I'm letting them down because I'm not teaching them anything. And I'm going to let myself down by not teaching them. So once we got through the warm-up, sorry, what were we going to say?
And that's contagious.
Yeah.
That
I want these guys to know that.
Sometimes bleeds into other aspects.
Yeah, that I'm real and I mean what I say. So when they got done with the warm-up, I said, all right, guys, we're 3 minutes late to start. And so I said, all right, we're going to go over in this area and we're going to do 180 up-downs. And we were flat that morning. It was a bad morning. Everybody's just tired.
Yep.
No energy. And so they get started. And I watch these kids. I'm always watching them. There's 73 guys doing up-downs on my hit. And I slow down a little bit, speed up, slow down to make sure everybody's together. And then I have one kid that's pretty athletic that's not doing it correctly. And I'm like, and I look at him and I continue looking at him, hoping that by me looking at him, he'll change his mentality and finish, push through. That's all I'm telling myself. Just give me more. Just don't be that kid. You got more in your heart than that. Just push. Nothing changed. For the first 100, they were garbage. It's like he did 20. So finally, I'm like, you know what? I cannot stand you not getting better. So I brought him to the front. I said, hey, this guy's an individual. He's better than 72 of you guys because he doesn't do it up-down correctly, because he doesn't want to, because there's a million excuses. And so I brought him to the front, and I said, all right, man, since you're better than these guys, you lead the up-downs. You lead them how you think you should. And what did he do? He changed his mentality. Mm-hmm. You know, he did the up-downs correctly. He touched his chest. He did the push-up at the bottom, jumped at the top, led. But then what happened was I started watching another kid started falling off, a pretty athletic kid. And so I brought him to front, and I said the same thing. Hey, this kid's an individual. He's not giving it his all. He got mad, talked back to me, and said, no, I can't do it. I said, you could do anything that you make your mind up to do. Start going. And then he wanted to give me a little bit of grief, and then all the other guys started saying, hey, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Just go. And all of his reps after that, he did them all correctly. Then the team started falling apart.
I was saying, when was the point? Because
I don't know.
You just said 180, and they did what, like 260 or something like that?
Yeah, so like we got to 180, and they're like, we could make it to 200. You know, they were hyped. Like, let's just keep going. I'm like, all right, this is cool. Let's ride this. Like,
okay, yeah, this is how I remember it. So yeah, we're peaking 180.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of like jawing starting to happen. Yep. People are like getting frustrated because kids are kind of falling off.
Yep.
They're getting frustrated.
Yeah.
They're kind of like not necessarily talking back, but they're starting to become individuals. Like
they're falling apart as a team.
Yeah, they're like, I can start slacking off. Like I'm not going to pull my weight. So then these kids are kind of chirping at each other. And it was funny how, because again, we're at the home stretch. I think it was at like probably 160 maybe. There's probably 20, 30 reps left. And this starts to occur. The kids, they start like fighting basically. Mm-hmm. They start not being a team. Mm-hmm. And what was cool was we didn't have to tell them that they had more. They could have easily just messed off. Mm-hmm. Fought each other, got to the 180, and then it would have been that. More than likely, it would have been like, no, we're not going to end on that type of note. But it was cool how it was frustrating from a coaching standpoint. It was like, man, you were right there. Mm-hmm. You guys just shut up, put your head down, and just finish. Yeah. So that was frustrating. Yeah. It was re-encouraging. To see them get through that. It was a little stalemate on them. They started like talking shit to each other. Yep. They collected each other. They're like, all right. Yeah. we know we don't finish this way. We're going to keep going. So yeah, and it was like, all right, we're going to do 200.
Yeah.
And then 200 turned in, and then it was always something.
Yeah.
Kids fell off.
They fell off, and then they
kids
kept
were
going.
fighting.
We as a coach, we put out fires. We put out, we're always putting out fires of some sort. And there's a million different reasons we could talk about that. But in that instance, I just wanted to see how they could do.
Yeah.
Without their coach telling them how to bring it back in and how they have to figure that out. And that's very hard for coaches because we have the solution usually.
And we're always used to
being able to be vocal and tell them, okay, stop, just do what you need to do. But I wanted them to have the ability to do it without you or I or any other coach telling them what to do. So it was really them just figuring it out together. And I think it helped us in the end.
Yep.
Seeing them at the end when they took a knee and we talked to them about what we need to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a talk with two of the kids, and one kid wasn't receptive and the other one was. And I've learned you're gonna have that. But when you start putting in perspective of why you do what you do as a coach, it helps those kids that struggle to buy in. And so every day that we got done with Hell Week, there's something we talked about. This isn't, there's a reason behind this. And I give them the perspective of your own self and your own life, and be vulnerable enough to talk about your experiences to help them understand why you are actually murdering them and making them feel this way, and the anger and the frustration that they have with you. That's normal. You should be mad at me. You should not like me. You should feel like you should be against me. But that's a normal feeling that we as athletes have.
Yeah.
If you don't have that feeling, you're probably not doing the right thing as a coach. But at the end of the day, what I'm seeing with these kids now after Hell Week is I have more respect than I ever did.
Yeah. I would agree.
And that's cool. I love it. But along the way, you're probably not going to like what I have to say. You're not going to like how I push you. I'm always going to love you as one of my own, but I'm going to expect you to find that greatness inside yourself. And when you're not finding it, allow me to push you a little bit harder so you can find it more. And I will help you find it if you get to that point where you can't. So that's Hell Week. Hell Week is a time for yourself to grow from a boy into a man during that week, and then let me keep helping you mold into somebody who's going to be different.
Would you say, because rugby's the only team that you do that with, right?
Yeah.
Would you recommend any and every team do that?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a certain?
I think it could be any
at least
team.
I agree too.
I think every team should go
maybe
through it.
To not that extent.
Yeah, you got to know your team and what they're doing.
But I really like a developmental period within a season, preseason, post, whatever it is, off season,
and
to really just learn a lot.
You need to be a coach that's able to do that, though.
Yeah,
I can't tell any coach to just go out and do that, because I think there's perspective, and you have to have understanding for your kids and know when to pull back, when to push.
You have to have a reasoning behind it. You can't just be like, all right, we're just gonna beat the shit out of ourselves.
Yeah. What's the
like,
point?
For what?
Yeah.
It's like if you don't know the what, it's gonna cause problems.
And so even without the kids asking, part of what I do is explain it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's wondering, but nobody's asking.
Yeah.
So let me explain it to you, why I did this to you today, or why we do this here at Iowa Central. What is the point of this? This isn't for nothing.
No.
When you win that national title, when you win this amazing game that you're almost going to lose to, then you get to remember about Hell Week. Remember that. That'll take you far. The experiences, I saw this somewhere. I think it was Drake Ayala's dad posted this picture of trophies. And it was something along the lines like, trophies at some point will get dusty. And it's not about the trophy in life. It's about the process that got you to that trophy. And that's what too many kids miss. It's not the end game. It's not the result. It's everything in between that leads you up to that point. It's everything that we do every single day as non-athletes that get us to the end of the day, that get us to the end of the week, that get us to the end of the month, get us to the end of the year. So when we look back, are we proud of the success that we've made? Are we proud of the outcome? Because every day is an opportunity to change that.
Yeah.
We just usually aren't willing to because that's too much work. We got this box that we're built around called the comfort zone. I can't go outside this line. That's too risky. It's too scary. It's too this. It's too that. But you could be taught how to be different. I don't care if you're 60 years old. I can teach you how to be different.
Oh, yeah.
If you're willing to accept that. There's always
time.
something.
There's always time, too. I feel like a lot of people, whether it's they're late in their careers or they've aged out of something or whatever.
They make an excuse. I can't do it. I'm too old. I can't change careers. There's no way I can do that. I can't go back to school. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't is the word that destroys people. That's why I'm so hard on my kids in the gym that say I can't, because if you can learn at 8 years old to lose that word in your vocabulary because knowing that you're going to get some type of consequence for saying it, hopefully you'll stop saying it, but then understand the reason behind it. Yeah. It's a little bit harder at 8 years old, but as you get older, they'll know that at 8, by the time they get to high school, I'll be talking about it from 8 till they're 18. Yeah. That's 10 years of hearing the same
sense of like, okay, it's a simple thing of saying, like, yeah, if you say I can't, whether you're frustrated or whatever, eventually it comes to point where it's like, when you want to say that, you understand why you shouldn't. Yeah. And you understand there's no reason for saying that. Because it's just words of I can't, but it's like, it's that attitude that comes with it. Mm-hmm. So it's that sense of like, all right, I'm in a position where I want to say I can't, I want to quit, but I have the understanding now that there's opportunity to change that. There's opportunity. There's a way. I'm going to figure a way out of it. Mm-hmm. So that's cool to like you said, figure that out at a younger age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. I got one more question, then we maybe shut her down.
Okay.
So obviously we're in this talk of talking about who Miguel Secor is, who's the Secor strength. You're obviously big on like strength and conditioning, like it's your life, right?
Yeah.
And then we talked a little bit about life outside of that. What are maybe some aspects, and I don't even know if I've asked you this just even as a friend, outside of fitness, exercise, and then family life, is there anything else that keeps your ticker going? And my reason for asking this is like, do you ever feel there's going to be a point, and because I experienced this, and that's kind of why I segued into more like video work, was the burnout of like being just so absorbed into one element to where it was like, I almost not necessarily put my whole identity into it, but I felt it was becoming a point of where I didn't really have an identity outside of like a coaching. So do you maybe feel that, or is it just something where it's like I eat, breathe, and sleep this shit, so it's not a problem?
No, I do. I think you have to. I don't. Most, like, if I look at strength coaches, most strength coaches are not strength coaches past their 50s. You know, they're just out of the game. So, you know, I feel like you have to be thinking of a backup plan when you get to that point where you're not going to be coaching anymore. Like, who wants to hear a 60-year-old guy try to coach you? Yeah. You know, like, I mean, there's respect and whatnot, and there's plenty of guys, 60, 70, 80, whatever, that are the guys, the men or women even, that they'll always be respected. But I've always thought about, like, what can I do if this doesn't, if I need to move on, or
what else? But do you have anything, like, maybe even just now? Because I'm really trying to not do the same thing in my next endeavor that I'm doing with my video stuff. I do have an addictive personality, and like I engulf myself completely in the shit that I do, which can be a good thing if it's monitored well. So I learned I didn't have any like outlet when I was a coach, because it was just I coached, I worked out, and I just repeated that vicious cycle. And there was never, like, I lived it, man. I work weekends. I didn't give myself time off. I didn't have like outlets that were me able to like debrief for myself, you know,
de-stress,
and then,
get
de-stress,
away,
and then come back into it. So is there anything you have going right now that is that? Or is it something that maybe you're sitting there like, shit, I might be in that same boat?
I try to monitor it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect for sure.
Yeah, but no one is.
But I would say outlets would be training. I know it's not training is an outlet.
Yeah.
I know it still has to do with the weight room, but it is an outlet that I need.
For sure.
And so like that helps me, even though it's still training, even though it's still in the gym, that's like an escape for me. That keeps me, I'm so consistent 5 days a week for that 2 hour period of time. That keeps me normal. I know when I don't have it, I don't feel right. But besides that, I would say I'll occasionally like movies, man. I was huge into movies like long time, and that always helped me not think about things.
Yeah, for sure.
Music, huge one. You know, we've talked about that in our podcast. I don't play it. I don't sing. I don't do all that like I used to. But if I need it sometimes, I'll go into my mom's house and play piano.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen very often. My motorcycle is a space where I can just get away. I'll go for like an hour ride, turn on the tunes, and just not be around people.
Let go.
Yeah, I would say that those are all ways I can decompress.
Mm-hmm.
Being around my kids, man, that helps me.
That's awesome.
That's a huge one. I mean, that's probably at the top of the list. Just being around, you know, Magnus when Calvin's at his dad's, or you know, just doing that. It helps a lot. Being around Allie helps. But I think, you know, at some point, like I talked about this earlier, if it gets to the point where I'm out, I really want to do something with speaking.
Yeah.
I really want to tap into that, because that's not, I mean, it's still stressful, but it's not as, I'm just speaking.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just telling people what I believe, or
There's
how.
a different element of challenge, I would say.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's a process in it. There's a structure behind it.
Yeah.
But it's just different from. It's just different, I would say.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's something else to figure out.
It's something new.
It's not like, all right, I understand. Kind of relating it to like training, you know. It's like, all right, you have a goal.
Mm-hmm.
Squatting how much, whatever it is, you
yeah.
know. And then you kind of work backwards, trying to figure out, all right, how do I get there? And then you kind of develop. It's the same way, and it's like any job, you know. Like every job is going to have a set goal or something you want to achieve.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like finding the equation that works out best.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, it'd be like, obviously, if you're going to be a public speaker, it's more like, all right, how do I find the right material to say? How do I word it? How am I talking to? How do I structure it? And it's that same thing is like, it's not development a program to squat 600 pounds, but it's still developing a sense of structure to have a goal and have it succeeded.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's something I'll tap into a little bit more, and then just try to be as normal as I can.
Yeah.
But I don't, you know, what is normal?
Yeah, for sure. Because that's something, the reason I brought it up was I'm finding it hard to, like, I engulf myself into things, like I said. And if I do that too much, I burn both ends of the stick. It's a negative thing. Mm-hmm. But I've also found where if I have too much diversity in my life, nothing's really like leveling up.
Yeah.
I have all these buckets, and nothing's getting full. I'm not succeeding anywhere. Yeah. So it's just, you know, trying to find that balance point of
this whole podcast thing kept me balanced when we were doing it, you know. I mean, that's just being honest. It was an outlet.
Yeah.
That's why, like, you know, like that was something that on a Sunday would just help me.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's just because you're talking, you're allowing your thoughts to be out there and to be heard. And that allows you to realize, okay, there's probably other people that are hearing this that are maybe might be going through the same things or can relate. And then it allows you to realize you're normal. And then hearing perspective from somebody else allows you to even realize more that you're okay.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like the podcast, man, like that was a good outlet for me.
Yeah.
For a long time. And
shit, man, now you make me feel bad.
No.
I should. This is a good way to explain it. So the reason that I wanted to step away from at least what we were doing with like the weight room thing was kind of like I was just saying. I was just so burnt out with like coaching and like just like fitness in general. Mm-hmm. Like it was almost like a negative thing. Like it was literally like the last damn thing I wanted to talk about. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the whole reason. I was like, we should just kind of put it on a pause for a second.
Yeah.
But this was nice to like kind of rekindle that flame a little bit. Yeah. I want to, and again, I was going to like prompt this to you or propose this to you. Try to, bring our podcast back, but maybe in a more like diverse subject matter. Yeah. Because I love training. Like fitness is always going to be a part of my life. But I just needed that opportunity to step away and basically like re-find like what I liked about it. Because there were so many like things that were not great about what I was doing with it. Yeah. So it was basically, it was like a disease. It was like this negative aspect that wasn't even the whole thing. There was a lot of great things going on, but like there was just one thing that was just a disease that was just infecting the rest of it. Yeah. So, yeah, hopefully we can get to where it's like something we can get going again.
Yeah. And I think the thing that, also kind of to answer the question you had about what other stuff I do to keep normal or to not get burnt is being able to, I think people need to be able to have an outlet that's somebody that they can relate to because of maybe the same things they like or something that they're into or whatever, that they can just talk to. I think that's the problem that I've struggled with the most is being a strength coach. I'm the only person out there. I don't have the relationships with most of the coaches because I'm not there a lot. Yeah. So I'm by myself. When I'm at the gym, I'm coaching alone. You can't bounce. So I've gotten really good at being alone, which is great, but at the same time, I miss the perspective of other people.
Yeah. Oh, I understand
and that helps you stay normal.
Yeah, for sure.
Just knowing you're not crazy. So, yeah.
I dig it. Well, that should be a good stopping point. I would say, so people that are listening to this, if you have any interest of us chit-chatting like we did today, want to hear more, let us know. And then we could probably just keep it rolling.
For sure.
I would like to. But again, I would like to just talk. That's my idea. The idea about this podcast, too, is just talk about real stuff, man. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily, doesn't have to be about career or goals or whatever. Like sometimes I just want to be like, hey, man, I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich the other day, and it was the best fucking thing in the world.
Exactly.
Here's why.
Yeah,
want to know why?
Yeah.
Just shit like that,
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so that's going to be it for the podcast, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Like, subscribe, follow, and leave a comment somewhere. Let us know what you think. Miguel, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, man.
We'll do it again.